In the diagram below, a right circular cone with a radius of 3 inches has a slant height of 5 inches, and a right cylinder with a radius of 4 inches has a height of 6. So those are already marked in the diagram. We want to determine and state the number of full cones of water needed to completely fill the cylinder with water. So what we're going to do is if we want to know how much water is going to be needed in each, we're going to find the volume of each. So we need to figure out how much space is in each. The first thing that stands out to me is that the cone, they only give you the slant height. And when I go to find the volume of the cone, the formula requires you to know the height. So the volume of the cone formula is right on your reference sheet. It's just 1/3 pi r squared times h. And h stands for the height. So the height is going to be that perpendicular distance. So in order to find the height, let me just do that off to the side here. You're going to want to use Pythagorean theorem. So this will be like my b. So it'll be 3 squared plus b squared equals 5 squared. Some of you might recognize this as a special right triangle. So you could just say, okay, no, it has to be 4. Otherwise, you're solving this. So when I solve this, subtract 9 from both sides, I get b squared equals 16, square root, we get b equals 4, which is the height. So the height is 4. So I'm going to change this to say 4. So then when I go to plug into the volume formula, it's going to be 1/3 pi, the radius is 3, squared times the height, which is 4. And since we're going to end up having to use our answer, I'm going to leave it in terms of pi because this won't be my final answer. So I want to leave it as an exact answer for as long as I can. So that means in the calculator, I'm doing 1/3 times 3 squared times 4, which is going to give me 12. And then I'll just carry the pi along. The units on this are going to be inches cubed because our dimensions are in inches. And then the second part of this is I need to know, well, how much space is inside the cylinder. So I know how much water can fit into the cone or how much space is in the cone. So now I need to know what's the space in the cylinder. So I'm going to find the volume of the cylinder. Which is going to be your formula right on your formula sheet. So volume equals pi r squared times h. So then you're going to plug in. This one, they give us the radius to be 4. The height is 6. And again, I'm going to leave this in terms of pi until the final answer. So if I leave it in terms of pi, I'm putting 4 squared times 6 in the calculator. I'm going to get 96, and then I'll just keep pi. Units, inches cubed as well. And then to answer the question, it says determine and state the number of full cones. So to actually answer that question, if I want to know the number of full cones that'll fit into the cylinder, I'm going to take the volume of the cylinder, and I'm going to divide that by the volume of the cone. Now, if you were to put this in your calculator, you need to make sure that this 96 pi and 12 pi both go in parentheses. Your calculator needs to know that you want to divide this whole thing by this whole thing. Otherwise, the easier thing to do is probably just cancel out the pi's because pi divided by pi is just 1. And then just put 96 over 12 in your calculator and you're going to get 8 cones. So 8 cones of water would fit into the cylinder.